coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a good morning. Let's see who's here. We got Larice, welcome. Native Pride, good to have you here. We got Nancy, good morning, Nancy. We got Bestie, good morning. We got Joan, good morning, Joan. Yankee Bell, good morning. Who else we got? I know we got others. We got, did I see Fire Dad? Yep, Fire Dad, good morning. And then Marsh, good morning. All right, and Karen's Books, good morning. Good to see you guys. Hope you're all having a good day where you are. I was told to watch the video this morning of the U.S. military bombing the Venezuelan boat, the drug smuggling boat. So I watched that. Oh my God, Trump don't give a shit. Good morning, Diane. So yeah, that made me laugh. That made me laugh. I've got nothing planned for this morning. Just looking through the headlines. Nancy Mace met with Epstein victims. I did see about that. Photos from University of Idaho murders released. Okay. That case, to me, that just sounded like a drug deal, like some type of drug thing gone bad. And I don't think he's going to talk, and I think he's the only way that we're going to find out what actually happened. Airline seating for plus-size travelers explained. Take a bus. Daughter of Nazi believed to have stolen painting put on house arrest. Ooh, this is one I want to read. Okay, hold on here. Okay, daughter of Nazi believed to have stolen painting from Jewish art dealer on house arrest. FBI returned a Nazi looted Monet pastel to a Jewish heir 84 years later. The daughter of a Nazi leader who died in Argentina has been put on house arrest after a painting believed to have been stolen from a Jewish art dealer in World War II emerged in a recent real estate listing of her family's Argentinian home. Shout out as my to my hometown being named as home headquarters to Space Force, Huntsville, Alabama. I did see that too. Redstone Armory. My brother, I believe that's where he was stationed. Patricia Kajian and her partner Juan Carlos uh, Cortigoso have been put on a 72-hour house arrest as part of the search for the painting Portrait of the Lady, an 18th century portrait of Countess Colleoni by Vittor Ghislandi, the Argentinian Public Prosecutor's Office said in a news release. It's thought that the painting was sold to Kadigian's father, Frederick Kadigian, in 1944. Yal M. White's attorney for Marie Van Sauer, the daughter in law of the painting's owner, art dealer Jacques Goodsticker, told USA Today. Frederick Kadigian was a financial advisor to Adolf Hitler and Hermann Goring. Hitler's second in command, according to Associated Press and ABC News. He settled in Argentina after World War II, where he spent the remainder of his life. He died in Buenos Aires, capital of Argentina, in 1978, the outlets say. Never ask your dad how much money he makes. Uh, Never ask a woman how much does she weigh, and never ask why did your grandparents move to Argentina in the late 1940s. uh, Dutch newspaper sees painting hanging in Patricia Kadigian's living room. Argentinian authorities conducted 4 simultaneous raids at different locations in Mar de la Plata, a city on the country's Atlantic coastline about 250 miles from Buenos Aires, on Monday, September 1st. Police did not recover the painting during the raids and has not been handed over to the courts. Its current location is unknown, officials say. Authorities managed to seize 2 paintings from one of the family's properties that could date back to the 1800s. Additional drawings and prints were also found. Visual arts experts will analyze them to determine if they are related to paintings stolen during World War II. Dutch newspaper Algemeen Dagblad first discovered the artwork as part of a 10-year probe. According to the outlet, the painting was hanging in Kadigian's living room in a real estate listing. Is first known color photograph of the artwork, which is featured in a database of lost art. Staff from Algemein Dagbad later contacted the real estate agency and inquired about the painting. On Tuesday, August 26, authorities searched the property, but the painting was no longer hanging in the living room. Instead, a horse tapestry was hanging in its place. Authorities captured photos of marks on the wall and a hook located above the tapestry that could have been used to hang the painting, officials added. In that raid, police seized the couple's cell phones, 2 firearms. Authorities also found 2 folders containing drawings, engravings, and prints containing German texts which are believed to date to the 1940s. It's not clear what Portrait of a Lady could be worth today, but similar artworks by Ghislandi have sold at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Um, Maria von Sauer, the daughter-in-law of Jacques Goodsticker, a Jewish Dutch art gallery owner and one of Europe's leading art dealers in the years leading up to the war, is the painting's rightful heir, her attorneys told USA Today. She's been searching for the family's missing art pieces since the 1990s. So far, she's been able to recover around 350 out of roughly 1,200 works. I remain committed to reclaiming the painting and having it returned to my family. It is what is just and fair, said von Sauer in a written statement. It is my goal to recover each and every looted Goodsticker work and to restore my family's legacy. What do experts think of the discovery? World War II cultural goods researchers Annelies Kool and Perry Schreier, both of the Cultural Heritage Agency of Netherlands, told USA Today in a statement that while they hadn't physically examined the painting shown in the photograph and cannot verify the back of the canvas for marks proving its authenticity, they believe it's reasonably likely that this is indeed the 18th century portrait. The dimensions appear to match those listed on the original declaration, the researchers noted. Commenting on the painting's most recent disappearance, Kool and Schreier said, "It's disappointing it has not yet been found. After all, the purpose of our work is to bring looted heritage from the Second World War to light where possible and return to the rightful owners." So there we go. That's an interesting story. I like reading those stories. I like all those where they're trying to solve old mysteries. So yeah, yeah. Oh, I do want to pull up that. Anything in the news that you guys want to talk about? I saw Trump addressed the rumors about his health. I have to laugh because all the people who didn't want to talk about Biden's health and were like, "Oh, you're crazy," and like he wasn't taking any um what do I say? He wasn't taking any press conferences. Trump's taking press conferences and they're asking him about his health, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But they keep zooming in on like his his hands and his arms, and they're like, "Oh, he's got bruises." It's like, dude's in his 80s. Like, yeah, of course he's got bruises. uh, oh, so I find that funny. Um, I do have to laugh. Georgie Stalker is posting things about me. Uh, reposted Anthony J. Clark's defamation of me. Here's the thing, Wednesday. You can post that all day long. It doesn't bother me. It's not true. It's just defamation. And when someone defames you and then someone else is repeating it, you're just as liable. So eventually, one day, Anthony is going to slip up and I will have him. And guess what? You're a party to that now. So keep doing what you do. We 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 warned you. Stop harassing people, but she's not. I have my great grandma's engagement ring that she got from my great grandpa when they lived in Germany. I remember her telling me that she lived next to Anne Frank at one point before all Hades broke out. That's interesting. Everyone says do not go to the Anne Frank house. It's just a house. There's nothing really special there. Hey, Big Dirk, good to see you. Voss, good morning. TC, he calls us freaks. Um, yeah, that's the other thing. So it's funny how these people are. So Wednesday is now posting defamation of me, but she's also running to other creators. That's one thing I find funny, and you know, we were kind of talking about this last night. A small group of us. All these people, what they want is other people on their side. Bullies need to have uh you can't if they're bullying you their worst fear is people to be on your side, so they need as many people on their side. So um she's contacting other creators to just to disparage Georgie, um and it's pretty pathetic. As we have seen with other creators who have done kind of the same thing. Yeah, it's just sad. It's just really sad. Um, It's yeah, like I can't like it, the people who would we've shown the highlights in some of her public posts on here. The people that would jump on to her train after seeing that, like you do you, but they're gonna turn on you. Like that's the thing about people like that. When they're mentally ill, oh yeah, they will turn on you. That's Skipper keeps a lot of people at arm's length. Like you have to prove to me that I should bring you into the fold. And I've gotten burned. I have gotten burned, but I have not gotten burned badly. Like look at all the people that, like the whole thing with Yoda. Like there were people online trying to say I got ripped off. I never got ripped off. I gave money to Uncle Frank. I didn't give money to any um, legal things that they were trying to do because I was like, yeah, I don't want any part of that when I was told it was happening. Um, and those same people, like, I just have to laugh because, like, they will use you until they can't use you anymore, and then you get discarded and treated badly. This is why Skipper won't fly me to Vegas. Why won't I fly you to Vegas? I mean, if there's something going on in Vegas that we should cover, I mean, I'd consider it. Good morning, Larry. We need to do another discussion on the cruise. I was getting a couple questions about it. My one friend is supposed to reach out to you. Skipper only has one more payment to make on that cruise, and then I'm done with my payments. It then becomes okay. What other extras do I want to buy? Um, I'm gonna pay for the gratuity ahead of time. I'm gonna pay for the soft drink package, and I'm gonna pay for an internet package. Protests targeting American travelers in Mexico. Gringos leave. Oh, let's see. I mean, hey, you don't want us there. That's okay. Uh, so yeah, there's protests against tourism in Mexico City. Um, he later learned demonstrators smashed restaurant windows and damaged vehicles, including a new car of his friend's wedding planner, a local resident. Oh, that's smart. That's all the stuff that they were all doing here that Trump then sent the National Guard to stop. Uh, Palmero, an avid traveler from Texas, said he heard that an influx of digital nomads and foreign tourists had pushed up prices in some of the city's most popular neighborhoods. Some of these people, these some of these digital tourists, like, and it's primarily people from California. People from California pay. They're so stupid. They pay top dollar for everything. I know because I live in a tourist area in California and they pay top dollar here. Like literally, and I'll just say it right now, California food is so shitty. Like stop putting aioli in fucking everything. And it's not even all California food. It's the LA food. The LA food sucks. That's why I said when they say, "Oh, it's my take on uh grilled cheese," you're getting a shitty grilled cheese. So this really isn't. Things are getting more expensive in Mexico or in the tourist areas. And yeah, they're protesting. I'm sorry you guys won't like our money. But some idiot American will go there and be like, "It's not that bad," and then they get beat up and like they'll be bleeding and be like, "Why didn't they warn us?" Oh my God. I'm watching all these liberals leave. They're all leaving because of Trump now. Let's see. We've had Rosie O'Donnell. We've had Ellen and Portia. Um, Amy Schumer is preparing to leave. A- And here's the thing, they're all going to white countries, predominantly white countries. How racist of them. They want to leave the vast diversity of the US and go to a predominantly white country. Racists. Um, uh, ba- ba- ba. Alex Jones, employee leaves. I saw that. I don't care. Howard Stern delays return after teasing big reveal about future. No one cares about Howard Stern. The only people who've been watching Howard Stern for the last 20 years are people with rental cars. What is this? Oh. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This one I want to talk about. This one's crazy. This is a crazy story. Germany's um, the melting pot that America is to Anglo country. Question above. Okay, let me hit up the question. With her doing that kind of emails to people I work with or have a chance of working with, is that considered tortious interference since I'm monetized and she is not? Yes, it is. It is considered tortious interference. Absolutely, without a doubt. She is trying to prevent others from working with you. So that is tortious interference. It is also harassment, and it's also cyber stalking. So yes, um, you need to go through the laws of Tennessee and Texas and start getting the elements of the crime and being able to, because you are creating a paper trail, but now you have to get more specific because when there's a crime, you have to meet all the elements that are listed in that crime. And some of them speak to intent, some of them speak to damage, both realized and unrealized. So you have to start going through those laws. Um, I would recommend you don't have to talk with a lawyer. I would talk with like a paralegal, someone with a little bit more knowledge. You can talk to a lawyer. You can get free consultation. um, I don't think you're there yet, but I would. The fact that you are documenting things, and for those who don't know, watch Georgie and Coop. They have documentation. Um, but yeah, the fact that you now have physical documentation of this is just her with a pattern of escalation, and where it speaks to criminal intent or the mindset of the perpetrator, like y- that's what you're proving now is this is what she is doing, this is what she intended. We've done warnings and said, look, just stop. You could also do a cease and desist, you could do that. uh, and that speaks to your intent. That is where you are then saying, look, stop. Leave me. I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. And when she doesn't, then you're just showing that, yeah, she's the problem. She is the problem, not you. You're willing to de-escalate. She is intent on escalating, and which is stupid on her part because she has a lot of she's got a business that she has there. Like there's a lot of things that she could open the door to scrutiny, just like Lynette. Lynette lost her 501c3 status. She probably would have it today if she didn't mess with Jeremy, if she would have just listened to the cease and desist. But Germany's far right AfD suffers series of candidate deaths ahead of local vote. This is crazy. As many as 6 candidates for Germany's far right AfD have died in recent weeks ahead of local elections in the big western state of North Rhine Westphalia. Police have made clear that no evidence of foul play in the deaths, but it means that new ballots will have to be printed and some postal voters will have to recast their votes. North Rhine Westphalia has a population of 18 million and a reported 20,000 candidates will run for office in its 14 September local elections. The number of deaths has nevertheless raised questions on social media. The state's interior ministry has pointed out that candidates from other parties, including the Greens and Social Democrats, have also died. The AfD becomes Germany's second biggest party in February's federal election, spreading from its eastern heartland areas of the West, too. The domestic spy agency classified it as a right wing extremist organization in May before placing a pause on that description due to an appeal pending in court. In the eastern states, its AfD associations are still listed as extremist. Initial reports centered on news that 4 of its candidates had died, and then deaths of 2 reserve candidates also emerged, prompting a flurry of conspiracy theories on social media. AfD local or co-leader Alice Weidel made no effort to quash the speculation, reposting a claim by retired economist Stefan Hamburg that the number of candidates' deaths was statistically almost impossible. However, asked about the rumors of his party, AfD's number 2 figure in North Rhine-Westphalia, Kay Gottschalk, acknowledged on Tuesday that what I have in front of that's what I have in front of me, but it's just partial information. Doesn't back up these suspicions at the moment. He told Political's Berlin Playbook podcast that his party wanted the cases to be investigated without immediately getting into conspiracy theory territory. He said they had to tread carefully with families concerned as they had lost a family member. Interesting. Hey there, Shinemesis. Welcome. Vet Firefighter, good morning. Can I write my own C&D and have it notarized? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. In fact, you could do that. Uh, that's the thing. The big thing about it, about a C&D, and again, talk to someone with a little bit more legal knowledge than I do. But the great thing about a C&D is you want to write it with de-escalation in mind. I will be sending one here shortly myself. Some guys have some good cosplay. Oh, any other good news stories? Spin magazine sale collapses. Blah, blah, blah. Trump deployment of military to LA was illegal, judge rules. That was the same judge who was overturned once before. It got remanded back to him and he did the same thing. It's like, okay, you're just going to get you're just going to get overturned again. Uh-huh. New York City shootings, crime at record low, safest August ever. Yeah, they just stopped reporting it. That's what they do every time. When they want to show a drop in crime, they just they just start classifying things differently. They were doing this in Chicago and DC as well. Uh, they'll undercharge things and be like, "Oh, well, the felonies are down." Yeah, but misdemeanors are way the hell up. Like whenever you see a drop in one area of crime and a spike in the other, it's like, okay, yeah, they're just doing shenanigans. Um, what else should I look for? Let's see. House committee releases Epstein jail footage that contradicts DOJ claims. Hmm, that'll be interesting. I'll check that out later. I don't want to show it online just in case if there's anything that could get the stream taken down. Good morning, Darlene. Good to see you. Um, Appeals court blocks Trump from deporting members of Trendale Rogel gang. How many times do they have to be overturned? Like the Supreme Court has already ruled on this. The ACLU successfully challenged the use of an 18th century law previously only used during declared wars. Federal appeals court. What do you want to bet? It's either the first, fourth, or DC circuit. One of those three appeals courts. The Trump administration cannot speed the deportation of migrants accused of being members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua during an 18th century wartime law. In a 2-1 ruling, wow, the Fifth Circuit U.S. Court. You don't see that too often. The Fifth Court, but they sometimes you do get these panels of three judges where two of them, um, you know, are activists. The Fifth Appeals Court sided with the immigration rights lawyers and lower court judges who argued that the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 was not created to be used against gangs like Tren de Aragua. You sure about that? The Trump administration, who used a use of a wartime statute during peacetime to regulate the Alien Enemies Act has been used in peacetime. It has been. Um, there is nothing in it that says during war. Not a thing in it. The Trump's administration used a wartime statute during peacetime to regulate immigration was rightly shut down by the court. Lee Gerlner, who argued the case for the American Civil Liberties Union, is critically important. Decision rating in the administration's view can simply declare an emergency without an oversight by the courts. Alien, there is oversight by the courts. They get deportation hearings. That is 100% over. That's all these people say. Oh, they don't get due process. No, they get deportation hearings. That's in front of a judge. It meets all the requirements of the Sixth Amendments. They can bring witnesses. They can bring evidence. They can face their accusers. The Alien Enemies Act was privily used only 3 times in U.S. history. That's false. And all came during declared wars of the War of 1812 and the 2 World Wars. No, it has been cited and used before, primarily in the war on drugs. Trump administration claimed that the courts cannot second guess the president's determination that Tren de Aragua was connected to Venezuela's government and represented a danger to the U.S., which it argued warranted using the law. More than 250 of the deported migrants returned to Venezuela after a deal announced in July. In a 2-1 ruling, the court granted the preliminary injunction sought by the plaintiffs because they found no invasion of predatory incursion in this case. That's not the courts to rule on. So there's already 2 different ways I can see where this is going to be overturned. The court's ruling blocks deportations from Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. The majority opinion said Trump's allegations about Trinidad do not meet the historical levels of national conflict that Congress intended uh, for when the law was approved. Um, how, like, what they intended for was for enemies of the U.S. Like, it didn't specify war. In dissent, U.S. Circuit Court Judge Andrew Oldham argued that the majority was second-guessing Trump's conduct in foreign affairs and national security, which are areas where the courts often give the president great deference. And that's exactly what the Supreme Court said back in June. You have to give all due deference to the president. So this is it. There's 2 things that are going to happen with this. Well, let me look through. So 2 things are going to happen with this, and either are likely. It'll either go to what they call en banc of the Fifth Circuit Court, which means all of the appeals court judges. There's normally like um, anywhere from like 15 to 20 of them, depending on the appeals court. They all will take up the case and make a joint ruling, or it'll be appealed directly to the Supreme Court. And here's the thing: Trump being president, he appointed the Solicitor General. And the Solicitor General, I know everyone thinks that the Attorney General is the U.S.'s like attorney. They're actually the U.S.'s prosecutor. The Solicitor General is actually the attorney for the U.S. Not the counsel for the president, but they are the attorney for the U.S. And this will be picked up by the Solicitor General's office. And I expect, like, if he could go to the full Fifth Circuit Court, because the Fifth Circuit Court is one that's pretty evenly balanced politically. And I think they would have a good shot at winning at the full en banc court, but he could also take it to the Supreme Court. And what the Solicitor General can do is say, this case is so important to the nation, the Supreme Court needs to take it up immediately. And it's very rare that the Supreme Court does not do that. So I would expect in probably another month, maybe 2 months, this case will be re-argued. Sometimes they're not re-argued. Sometimes they just say we don't need to re-argue. We're just gonna read through the decisions and they'll read through the decision and the rationale of the decisions and also rationale of the dissent, and then make a new thing. But sometimes they can say no, we're going to bring all the lawyers in and we want to ask questions. They can do that too. So those things, one of those 2 things I expect to happen. I am looking at the time. I'm going to get going, folks, only because I don't want to take too much time today. Politics has been turned into a spectator sport, too many wanting their team to win, regardless of the effects on the U.S. Politicians are encouraging it, and it's hurting everyone. And that's what. But that buck naked is why you should pay attention. And the big thing you should pay attention are your local leaders. That's where you get your future state leaders. State leaders are where you get your future national leaders. So if you start paying attention to your local leaders and you start voting in good people locally, it does make a difference. It absolutely does. But folks, I am going to get going. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.